Hey peeps, Lisa Joe, your essential oil girl. How you doing? Good. I'm glad to hear it because I know you're saying awesome. I'm so awesome. Anywho, today I want to talk about diffusers. Okay, if you have been in essential oils or if you don't know anything about essential oils, a couple things. Now that I started opening my mouth, a couple things. I'm Lisa Joe, your essential oil girl. I've already said that. Please subscribe to my channel. That's very helpful. Also, I'm offering a free joy and peace guide below if you would like to get on my email list to learn about essential oils. Moving on. Diffusers. Diffusers come in all different shapes and sizes. I thought about marching them all out here to show you what they look like because I have 10 different styles of diffusers, but I'm not going to do that. The things you need to know about diffusers is they all work pretty darn good. Some of them, money wise, I don't know what's going on with these. If you get a super duper inexpensive one, which I have some of those, they will run for about 4 hours and then you'll have to refill them. That's fine. I have one that's a humidifier from Doterra, which is awesome. And it's a big and it will run. We run it during the night because we're in Denver now, so the air is super duper dry. And the boyfriend actually is getting over the crud from our last trip. We went somewhere, so we're diffusing for a lingering tickle cough, lime and eucalyptus, which really helps with that. Not the point, but big diffuser, little diffuser, some of them squirt out oils. But things you need to know is they all diffusers, even the one you buy on Amazon or whatnot, you put water in them, and when the water runs out, they will automatically turn off. So you don't have to worry about, oh, they're going to burn the house down because I left it running. So that's a plus with diffusers. Again, the less expensive they are, they're probably going to be a little bit noisier than others, but I haven't found that to be a big deal. I know I have some. One of my friends just really doesn't like noise when she's sleeping, so I don't know what she ever came up with that, but that's something to pay attention to. Now, they sell them at like Kohl's and, gosh, CVS, the grocery store. You'll find them, and whenever they buy them, you can buy them there. They come with this pack of oils. Those oils are like literally fragrance. What that means to you is they're like a Glade products. They are full of chemicals. They're not throwing in free essential oils. They're throwing in free fragrance oils. I would never ever recommend you diffusing those around you, live people, or your animals. The only time I might recommend them, if you were going to buy a diffuser, put it outside for bugs. Maybe you could put peppermint in the whatever peppermint they give you. Maybe that would help with the bugs outside. I would never recommend using those actual oils that come for free or that you get cheap, because they are not being a good health friend to you and your lungs. You need to get a pure essential oil. So keep that in mind. Now, with this last thickness, I have noticed, and I want you to be aware of this, diffusers need to be cleaned, right? And the way you would do that is you would put a little bit of water in there and run white vinegar and let it run for like 15-20 minutes, then wipe them all out. Now, Doterra is a super duper pure oil, right? However, some of the blends I have noticed, as we've been diffusing because of this last sickness, actually have a little bit of fractionated coconut oil in them. So whenever I put my fingers in the diffuser, it's a little greasy. Now, this is important to know because whatever you're putting in the diffuser is also getting on your furniture and your walls. Okay? If you diffuse an oil, and most of the cheap oils do that. If you use the Doterra pure oil, it's pure. It's not going to have that oil in it. So do a check. Drop a drop on your palm, and if it feels greasy, that's probably not one you want to be diffusing. Okay. The reason is I heard this horror story years ago, and I was like, oh, what? That can't be. And then I was like, well, doTERRA wouldn't. But then this last time, apparently one of the blends that I'm using has some coconut oil in it, and I didn't read it. It was a blend because they have different blends. They have pure oil, and then they have some that they blend together to make a name oil, hope and joy or whatever. You know what I mean? And apparently in one of those, there's some fractionated coconut oil. So the horror story I heard was a friend of a friend, really. She wouldn't buy oils because her husband was a painter, a house painter inside house, and they had tried to paint walls in a house where a lady had run cheap oils in diffusers in every room of her house all the time. What happened was the paint would not stick to the walls. They ended up having to scrape it down to the sheetrock. It was just a nightmare. And I was, oh, that would never happen. That would never happen. And yet, this time, whenever he had the sickness. Let's just say that. And I was doing all different kinds of combinations because we've got antiviral, antibiotic, all the antifungals and all the different oils. And apparently, one of the blends that I used had the coconut oil in it. And I was like, oh snap! So just be aware of that. If do the palm test, drop it on your palm. Drop the drop on your palm, whatever oil you're going to put in your diffuser, because you don't want to not be able to paint your walls. Okay? And also the water you're using. I use regular tap water. However, the tap water here in Denver is the kind of tap water that leaves this like red ring in the toilet if you don't scrub it every couple days. I don't know what's up with that. So use bottled water, use whatever water, use pure water, whatever. I've heard that tap water is okay because it has minerals in it and the actual oil actually sticks to the minerals, which makes it actually spread just as good. So I haven't worried about that. But I do want you to pay attention to the oil. So if you drop a drop in your palm and it doesn't evaporate really quickly, then it's probably got something added to it. So I would suggest maybe not diffusing it, or if you do, make sure you're doing it away from the walls. Also keep in mind whatever furniture you've got this sitting on, it's going to it doesn't pour, it's the water, right? The water that comes out of the diffuser, because it's just a light mist. So if you got an expensive piece of wooden furniture, I would maybe put a piece of plastic over or some kind of towel, something to keep it from getting wet, damp. It's not wet. It doesn't come out wet. It doesn't spit, but it is in the air. So keep those in mind. Clean them every couple weeks, or if you're using a lot of oils, maybe clean it every week. I'm not very good at that, but since I noticed this is a little bit slimy in there, I've been doing it every 3 or 4 days while we're running it. It'll keep the machine running better. And the accumulation is really more of the water particles that tend to mess up diffusers. And I think that's all I got. So doTERRA has some fabulous diffusers. Amazon has diffusers. Just don't use the free oils that come with them. I would not recommend it because those are not safe to be breathing in or letting your children or your animals get exposed to them. Use a pure oil like doTERRA for their therapeutic properties, right? And they're pure, so we know they're pure. All right, I think that's all I got. Diffusers, more than you ever wanted to know. Now you know. All right, love you guys. Bye. Boop.